You go to the police station in Jordan and they give you an ID.
I want to hear what Princess said.
You go and say, "I hate Jews" 3 times, and they print it out.
Oh.
It's
And then Beetle Juice appears and gives you one.
Exactly.
But if I were to have one, I would be limited to, even if I had my American citizenship, I would be limited to what Palestinians are limited to. I wouldn't be able to travel as freely as an American if I ever was able to.
Well, you could have both. You could just use your American passport.
I mean, if you ever went to Israel and they just Googled your name and saw you, in the elevator crumpled on your suitcase, like, they might not want to let you through Ben Gurion. It's just a thought.
Yeah, I'm aware. Move on.
Yeah, we don't have to be so on the nose. That's not a nice joke now. Where's David? We need David to say that's not nice.
Norm, if this room does get heated up, I just asked you, let the person make the insult and then you hit with your insult. Let's go back and forth so that people can hear it, because I want to hear the jokes.
So you actually appreciate my jokes?
Well, the few times I've heard them, you've had some good jokes, although Scott's doing pretty good. Scott's
tremendous.
Scott's always on point. Scott's always on point.
Scott and I work together.
Oh, wait, who's the straight man in that duo?
Norm's the power top.
That's an image I can't get out of my head now. Please don't say that.
Did anybody else?
Remember that guy in The Sopranos? Remember that he was dressed like
big fat guy? Oh, it was the motorcycle guy?
Yeah, the motorcycle hat, the hat, and the vest, and the chaps.
Vincent Spatafore? Vito Spatafore, thank you.
Has anybody looked into the JFK files at all?
I did, not a lot.
Israel's all over it.
What?
It's on it, yeah. What's all over it is frickin' Cuba. Oh my god.
Cuba.
And the Russians saying he was a really bad shot.
Yeah, but somebody made a good point in another room I was in where he might have been a bad shot at that time, but he could have always improved.
What?
Who was a bad shot?
Within 2 years?
The guy who killed JFK, what's his name?
Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah, that guy.
Well, the other interesting thing was commentary from people who think they heard, and acoustic analysis and commentary from witnesses who heard a second shot come out from the grassy knoll of Dealey Plaza.
Well, sound bounces off grassy knolls. Now that you say it, it's very clear to me. Like, you could think something is coming from along the street.
It's the Jews who killed JFK.
That's why the War Commission got rid of that evidence.
They say there's the House Select Committee on the Assassinations Report, and they say that what you're saying, there was scientific acoustical evidence that established a high probability of 2 gunmen.
Right.
Other scientific evidence did not preclude the possibility of 2 gunmen firing at the president. Scientific evidence negates some specific conspiracy.
Did not preclude
Police radio.
Almost meaningless.
Yeah, but
look at you, Melissa, knowing all these facts.
Over the police radio, there was apparently 2 sounds of
Then Gorian sent the hit, and then Gorian sent Mossad to kill him.
Weren't there a number of shots, though? There was more than 1 shot.
Well, no, that's the whole magic bullet problem.
What's the magic bullet problem?
Even the magic bullet people think there were 3 shots.
Yeah, but the Warren Commission said there was 1 bullet that went through Kennedy and through Governor Connolly.
Right. Well, it did blow the top of his head off.
Which it came from. It had to go down through his head, then fall a few inches, then go straight through. It had to make all these twists and turns.
Well, bullets tumble. Bullets tumble. They're known for that.
I know. Google magic bullet theory and see a diagram and tell me if that looks like it's tumbling.
Yeah, but you know what's funny? That's my Tinder profile. Magic Bullet Theory 69.
969. Just shorten it to magic bullet.
All the conspiracy theories, this is an old boring one. I don't even like the new ones. People that don't know how to think.
There was one, I think, that, what is the conspiracy theory about the chemtrails? So in the documents from Cuba, there was one document that these conspiracy theorists are thinking it lends significant credence to their theory. So this is what the paragraph says.
and it was talking about one of their secret missions. So General Carter says, emphasized the extreme sensitivity of any such operation and the disastrous results that would flow from something going wrong, particularly if there was obvious attribution to the U.S. He went on to say, however, that it would be possible to accomplish this purpose by methods more subtle than those indicated in the paper. He mentioned specifically the possibility of producing crop failures by the introduction of biological agents which would appear to be of natural origin. Mr. Bundy said that he had no worries about any such sabotage which could clearly be made to appear as the result of local Cuban disaffection or of a natural disaster, but that we must avoid external activities such as release of chemicals, etc., unless they could be completely covered up.
Fidel Castro was Jewish.
I think that this this gives a good point to the people who believe in chemtrails, because they're basically saying,
what does that mean, believe in chemtrails?
So they believe that the government, and different governments, not just the U.S. government, go around with planes and such and put things into the air over crops and whatnot on purpose to either make us sick, kill certain things, affect agriculture, affect weather, things like that, on purpose.
They do it just for research purposes. They don't even know what it does.
How hard would it be to take one plane and see what was on the plane? This is such weird.
It's not. They did. Somebody just used like a 35,000 because they fly up so high you can barely see what's going on. But when they zoom in really close, you can see that these chemtrails, it's actual dispersal. This is not exhaust. It's not exhaust.
Contrails condensed water.
Planes are water vapor.
I know, but you can see they're actually discharging, and they're usually taking off.
That's why it's called con, short for condensed.
Well, listen, I just filmed one yesterday, right here in Chicago. I can show you the video, and then you look at it. Look at my video, okay?
He wants to get a view of his video.
Yeah, I'm gonna run to watch your video of contrails.
Chemtrails, short for chemical.
Well, you know, if you're a supposed Democrat liberal and you like the environment, you should wonder, why the fuck are taxpayers paying for planes to fly above us to spray us with shit?
Who said that they were?
So from
It's obvious. It's really happening.
From this document that was in the JFK files, they were trying to sabotage the possibility of. They were trying to sabotage their crops. They were trying to cause a crop failure, make it look natural, and say that it was either other people.
So this is Jefferson Park, Chicago, Illinois. I want to show you
it was a natural disaster, and that they could completely cover it up. That they were going to do it on purpose because they were trying to overthrow the Castro government. Remember?
Did anybody ever find one plane with the stuff on it? How hard is this?
Yes, it's been photographed. Yes.
So it's been photographed, but again, the plane was photographed. But what about the stuff that was on? What was in the plane? Science. How do you guys get through a day without the ability to think?
Hold on. Tara, you yourself say they're water vapor on that video.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. You want me to read you in what it says on the bottom?
I say that while I'm filming that plane, that is a water exhaust? The fuck are you talking about?
It says
No, that's Google. That's Google giving the warning label. Yeah, because you're not allowed to call it a chemtrail. It's got to be called a contrail or something.
Were the chemtrails confirmed in some leak or what?
No, but see, the point is people think, oh, they're trying to do crop failure. They're trying to point us. I bet you anything they fucking budget it. The description would be research purposes, research and development.
What did you say, Rico? I didn't hear you.
But they would have had to have funded a university study prior to that, so you have to go back earlier and find out who figured out how to do this.
This is like post-World War II shit, because this all has to do with the aeronautics industry and having this technology to fly in the sky and fucking do shit. Like, it's technology. It's airplanes mixed with chemical technology. Fucking DuPont probably sells them the shit that they spray.
Okay, what was your question, Rico?
Yeah, I was just asking if the chemtrails were confirmed in some release, some document.
Yes, so in the JFK files, I read out one of the documents that was found, and I think it does substantiate it. So I'll only read part of it. So they were talking about basically how they could cause issues in Cuba, right? Because they were in the JFK files, we already knew this. There are many different operations the CIA had where they were trying to overthrow the Castro government in Cuba. And so they were talking about that, and they said, it says, quote, he went on to say, however, that it would be possible to accomplish this purpose by methods more subtle than those indicated in the paper. He mentioned specifically the possibility of producing crop failures by the introduction of biological agents which would appear to be of natural origin. Mr. Bundy said that he had no worries about any such sabotage, which could clearly be made to appear as the result of local Cuban disaffection or of a natural disaster, but that we must avoid external activities such as release of chemicals unless they could be completely covered up. I think that really does substantiate the chemtrail theory, to be honest. And that was going back a long time, right? That was the 50s and 60s, so imagine what they could do today.
Well, yeah, I mean, the chemtrails thing is it's consistent with like the Malthusian worldview of release. So.
I sent you, Rico, in the back channels on Telegram. I sent you an interesting document that hasn't been unredacted yet.
I saw.
Interesting.
Did you see what Russell Brand tweeted? That there's a letter to Joseph Biden saying you're a traitor. Robert Kennedy or John F. Kennedy.
Yes,
it's on Russell Brand's X account or
it was
Instagram.
cut off, so I wonder what he was talking about.
Either way, it's not a letter of flattery. It's fucking calling you a traitor.
He might not have been talking about his father's assassination. You know what I mean?
Well, I just think it's amazing that Biden was president, meaning that like Biden could have somehow also been involved in the assassination coup d'etat to take out Kennedy. Because it's a coup d'etat. Like the people who took him out inherited all that power. And they are the descendants today right now. I mean, that whole funeral procession where they all looked at that letter, I think, when George H.W. Bush's father died. I mean, there's government secrets, and this is like Caesarian. You know, they brought down Caesar, so to speak. And
You mean
Caesarian?
right?
Yeah, that's the name of it.
That's not how you pronounce that.
I know, but Caesarian procedure to remove a baby is from Caesar's death. Like, that's the Latin.
You got it right, Rico?
Yeah. Very funny.
I know, the Khazarian conspiracy theory about how a group of people converted to Judaism to avoid conflict.
I'm just saying.
I mean, if you love history, you know, go read a book and go to the gym, fatty. I don't know what to tell you. Are you here right now, or do you just use the J word all the time? You've got J word Tourette syndrome.
Literally, the only thing that the CIA was asking to redact was mentions of Israel in the JFK file.
Some people say Israel, you know, that Ian Carroll said, you know, Israel has some way connected. It's like, okay, great. Wow, what a big nothing burger. I know nothing burgers. That's a nothing burger.
So I was going through these documents myself, one by one, not just what I was finding on Twitter. And so there was at one point I don't know if it was a House committee meeting or whatever on the assassination. And J. Edgar Hoover was the FBI or the CIA, one of the two. Anyway,
yes.
What was funny is the transcript of that meeting, there were multiple pages that were missing, but the pages that remained really weren't redacted. And there were multiple points where Hoover, was asked, you know, they would say, for the record, can you confirm Lee Harvey Oswald was not an asset of the FBI or not an asset of the CIA? Like, almost purposeful, framed questions where then he says, yes, I can emphatically say that he was not a member of the CIA, you know, and then he's asked, multiple different times throughout the meeting by multiple different people. And to me, it came across as kind of staged. Like, here's one. This guy said, so you have already covered this, but just so that a record is completely clear on this point, was Lee Oswald ever an agent of the FBI? He says Lee Oswald was never an agent of the FBI. But, like, he's asked so many times that, to me, it just seems kind of forced.
Listen, the JFK thing is nothing more than an acronym for life and death, and everybody's always obsessed with it. My father's obsessed with it. People who experience that, event on television, it's so ingrained in their, memory dopamine system that it's like the big thing. So, but it's going to be a big nothing burger. I mean, go on YouTube and watch this documentary called "Everything Is a Rich Man's Trick." There's a lot of things in that video that could or could not be true. It's hard to tell, but to me, it seems like it's a pretty sincere film, and it's called JFK to 9/11 to COVID-19, and like those three events are connected somehow. And if you think it's all just J words, I mean, you don't understand WASPs. Like America is, WASP is the kingdom of WASPs. So I mean, it's not all the J's. J's are just periphery. J's are the moon. J's are the moon, and that's in that movie with Robert De Niro and Matt Damon called The Good Shepherd, where he has that conversation, and he's like, who the fuck are you? He goes, you're just renting from us, bitch. That's the WASP mentality around.
The line is, we're the United States of America, and the rest of you are just visiting.
Yeah, so that's the WASP attitude. That's really, you could say it's Jesuit, you could say it's Catholic. But if you want to talk power, look who's the president.
Yeah, but who controls the WASPs?
The thing is, nobody controls nobody unless you did something immoral and they got you on camera to blackmail you somehow. But even if it's on camera, the thing is, even if it's on camera, how do you release it to blackmail somebody? Like, there goes your power. But
okay, so
if
Melissa,
you
do you know that J. Edgar Hoover was a tranny?
Yeah,
I know. I did not know that, though.
Oh, well,
So,
you should look into that.
Yeah, that's weird. I'll look at that later. I'm still going through.
He was like fucking he was gay. He was in a love affair with his assistant or something. That's a movie, though.
Anyways.
We don't. Who knows all? Do you even know for sure that Trump fucked Stormy Daniels? I mean, there's just so many. Who knows? Who cares?
I don't want to believe it.
So there was this letter that I found. I haven't seen this anywhere on Twitter, but I found this myself. Some guy, this is in the files, named Sergey, I can't pronounce his last name, but it's Czornonoh, some Eastern European last name. There was like a PDF of a couple of letters this guy wrote to different groups, different governments. And it's just really bizarre. It's the most bizarre and then also kind of disturbing letters that I saw so far. So, for the first one was that he claimed there was a woman named Vasera Asanova, a girlfriend of a Russian consulate member, who, while this guy was in Sofia, Bulgaria in 1963, this woman came to his room where he was staying and said that Lee Harvey Oswald is an assassin and that he will, as in future tense, kill Kennedy, as he hadn't done it yet. Then he says that he told an American vice consulate member that Lee Harvey Oswald was an assassin, that he has a weapon or has ordered one. He was just telling them, like, he's going to kill them. The guy asked where it will happen. And then this is interesting. It says, I said they, in parentheses, right wing, will invite president, criticize him in the newspaper, then kill him. The American vice consul members told me he will give the telegram to the Department of State, and he gave me the address of where to report. And it says he was in Washington, D.C. He went to see the director of the Special Counselor Service Department. He told him about the information that he had. The director told him, do not mention the name of the president, only respond to the questions. He told him the same thing. He said, I will take the truth drug to tell the truth. The director said, who else gets killed? The director said, "Tell us who else will get killed in this country," almost as if like this guy knew about like things to come or something weird. I said, as I heard, that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. will be killed. Who will kill Dr. King Jr. N-word leader? I said a man who is in prison at this time. Mr. James Earl Gray was in prison at the time. Director asked where the assassination will happen. I said in Dallas, Texas. Director said if someone
What year?
Huh?
What year is this?
So this was in 1963. This was before the assassination. Then he says, director said, if someone gave this information here, I would expel the man. Director called the FBI agents and they used anesthesia gas to freeze me and drug me to give me amnesia. This guy's English was broken, so when he said freeze me, I think he means like knock him out. So that's the first weird letter. And that was a letter to the Russian ambassador. So he sent it to the USSR telling them what happened. Then this other letter, this is like a really disturbing letter. He wrote this to the district attorney in Sacramento, California. But he wrote this in the 70s. So this letter is way later. So then it says, he said, I visited Mr. Ferry, the deputy district attorney, on August 16, 1977. I told in the office that the FBI agents and Secret Service used the police department to harass me. The police department supplied pencil of anesthesia gas to the manager of the building I live in. The manager do or use certain people to freeze me by anesthesia gas, then push drugs, poison in my mouth to torture me, to take my sleep away, or bleed by rectal. And they used many other chemicals to brainwash me, to use me in political assassination, which I refused. On January 20th, 1976, in Sacramento, on 8th and 1st Street, man came to me from police or post office, U.S. Department of Justice, and freezed me by gas and told me to take the gun and pistol, and we will tell you where to shoot to kill Mr. Sergeant Shriver. Mr. Sergeant Shriver was to run for president in 1976. I refused. Manager of the Marshall Hotel called on the man to tell me this on the street. In February 1976, the police intelligence told me that the assassination will not happen here. How about to move to Maryland? In this letter, I ask you to get a report from Dr. Frederick Baker, a colon and rectal surgery on January 31st, 1978. Here's his phone number. I do bleed very much today and I am weak. In this letter, I ask you to give restraining order or to respond to me what could be done. The right wing in America made record to use me in assassination. I refuse. I am human and I like to be treated as human. Police put frame up on me just to take advantage on me. Police use lie, police use mental case to take advantage of me and tell me that the right wing will use such people like me. To prove, I enclose a copy, midnight, June 14, 1976. I also enclose letter I sent to Mr. Ted Sheehy, supervisor, on January 26, 1978, and a copy of his reply to me. I just love his name is, so I looked him up on CZORNONOH. I couldn't find anything on him. I'll type it.
CZORNOHO.
No, CZORNONOH.
Could be Bulgarian.
I put it in the chat. So I just put it in ChatGPT and I just said, like, who's this? And I didn't get anything.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard of this
He is
guy.
a Bulgarian. I was right. No, he's just some Bulgarian living in California. Yeah, it sounds like a lot of horse shit. In August 1963, months before JFK's assassination, the informant warned that Lee Harvey Oswald planned. Well, since Lee Harvey Oswald didn't kill JFK, this is obviously either a document that was created after the fact and backdated, or he's in on it with them and they were setting him up. because Lee Harvey Oswald definitely did not kill the President of the United States.
What's interesting is that in the files, it's a typed up letter, but it says this is a retyped letter. Why would you retype a letter?
Who retyped the letter?
Because it was handwritten. It was handwritten, so they put it back. They put it into a
No, but it's signed by
typewriter.
this guy.
Yeah, and he signed it, right? So it's
Check
retyped.
this out. Oh, Melissa, his passport number is 27000. Like, he has a perfect, just perfect number passport.
The thing
see
that was
that?
crazy to me is this is like fabricated. Like, why did they put all this weird stuff about his ass in there? Like
Because
rectal stuff, poisoning
Who's
him.
that? What are you talking about?
In the JFK files, there's a letter from
I
this
got your
weird Eastern European dude talking about the CIA like raping his ass and stuff. I'm not even making
They've
this up.
had,
But I'm sure the JFK files aren't all talking about JFK. Are they talking about Lee Harvey Oswald? So it's about JFK's ass?
No, this is about a guy, an Eastern European guy, and the claim was that there was a woman. Well, this guy was in Bulgaria, and she was the girlfriend of a Russian consulate member, and she came to him and told him that Lee Harvey Oswald was going to kill the president. This guy then wrote letters to a bunch of different people informing them of it, and he went to the U.S., he went to the FBI, whatever, to tell them about it. And then sometime later, he wrote a letter to the district attorney in California telling them that basically he had been used and abused by the CIA, and they had tried to get him to do an assassination, and he refused. And then he writes all the stuff about being poisoned and then raping him or something like that, and then using anesthesia gas to erase his memory and all these sorts of things.
one thing you have to keep in mind, Melissa, is that they've had 65 years to fabricate evidence for this release. So.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt it. But what I'm saying is, I didn't see this on Twitter. When you look at JFK files, I found this on my own, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
You can go look through the archive. You can go to the Tulsi Gabbard released the archive. You can click the link, and what Diego just said is typical neurotic Diego. Diego, you're a neurotic. I mean, they had 65 years to plant this so they could release this information. It's it's fucking. You'd have to have a lifetime to get through the fucking pages, and you're not even gonna look because you're lazy as fuck.
All they have to do.
I started doing it. I'm on page 40.
They just have to get guys like you to get on typewriters and just randomly type shit. A guy like you.
Guys like me, huh? Guys like me, monkeys like me. Oh, good one. Good one. I hope you got some money squirreled away for that commissary. Be sure to send Princessia a little bit for her commissary, Dr. Diego.
Diego, do you have Tim on Telegram?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll send it to Tim, and then Tim can send it to you.
The moment I found out that Mossad killed fucking JFK, Israel was dead to me.
Oh, Tim's here. Tim.
That's the only one?
Glad to see you back.
I said, well, let's only trust white men.
I'm back, bitches.
Hey, Daddy.
Dude.
I watched The Crown, and I couldn't stop thinking about you.
Literally, Tim, am I wrong when I say that literally the only thing that they were constantly requesting to redact was stuff about Israel? That's right. See it.
No. It's the chai coms, bro. It's the chai coms.
It's the chai coms.
It's the chai coms. It's the globe.
So
what did they redact about Israel? What did Israel do?
No. Wait. It was the Mormons. It's the Mormons. It's definitely Mormons. Oh, no. It was the Scientologists.
The Scientologists.
Listen. Wait, hold on. John, who is Trudeau's daddy?
I don't know. Trudeau's daddy.
No, you know who Trudeau's dad is, right?
Oh, yeah. I agree. It does look very strange.
Okay. So, and you know that Fidel Castro is Jewish.
How do you know he's Jewish? His mom is Jewish?
He said it himself.
I know, but a lot of people say they're spiritual Israel, but their mother's not really Jewish. You ever meet a
Do you know
BHI?
today that I didn't know? That LBJ was Jewish.
Oh,
LBJ was Jewish? His mom was a Jew?
100%. Dude, even the
Shut the fuck up. Really? Bullshit. Let me check.
You know why I doubt that one, Tim?
Bro,
You know he was famous. You know the whole reason why we say you're Johnson? Don't zip up your Johnson and all that stuff?
amazing.
It's because of him. Because he used to show his
Look at
cock
it.
all the time.
Look at this, the Times of Israel, quoting from the article of Morris Smith in 5 Times Jewish Times. 5 Times Jewish Times. Lyndon Johnson's maternal ancestors, the Huffmans, apparently migrated to Frederick, Maryland from Germany sometime in the mid-18th century. On the maternal side were Jewish. These grandparents of Lyndon's mother, Rebecca Beans, their names were John S. Huffman and Mary Elizabeth Perrin. John Huffman's mother was Suzanne Ament, a common Jewish name. Perrin is also a common Jewish name. Huffman and Perrin had a daughter, Ruth Ament Huffman, who married Joseph Beans, and together they had a daughter, Rebecca Beans, Lyndon Johnson's mother. The line of Jewish mothers can be traced back 3 generations in Lyndon Johnson's family tree. There is little doubt that he was Jewish. This is from the Times of Israel.
There you go. So it's just like today.
What did they all say?
Very uncredible
There's
source.
no greater friend. You know, Israel had no greater friend than Lyndon fucking Johnson.
Wowzers.
Diego, did you get the PDFs?
Let me see here.
Wait, who was Jewish?
No, who wasn't Jewish, Ryan? That's the question.
Right. That's right.
And this whole conspiracy, who wasn't
What?
Jewish?
I'm not Jewish. Who said I was Jewish?
No, in the conspiracy, dude. Yeah, I'm looking at this. This is the retyped letter, yeah. I don't believe this. I don't believe this document is valid.
It's crazy, right?
And they're both, by the way, they both have a date of 1978.
Yeah, that's the retyped one, but they're saying that.
It was 63.
Yeah, so they're both retyped at that date, but they're saying that the first one, happened, all that happened in 1963.
Right, but I mean that sounds like garbage. Now I will tell you this, because I am a very huge JFK conspiracy buff. You know that there was a book written about Lee Harvey Oswald before he supposedly committed the assassination. That's an interesting book. It's not about anything in particularly interesting, but just the fact that someone found this guy notable or interesting enough to write a book about him is definitely suspect. I don't believe Lee Harvey Oswald was 24 years old. You look at the photos.
No, he looks older than that.
He looks much older than
Like,
that.
people dressed really old and shit back then, and typically speaking, they would have appeared older than we would perceive people, obviously, right, by their dress and their attire and their hairstyles.
Yeah, the Golden
But
Girls
he
was in
seems
the 40s when they filmed that show.
he seemed to be older.
You could see his male power baldness, like he just doesn't come across as 24 years old. That's not to mention.
What's the significance? I'm trying to skim through.
Listen, my audience on YouTube is saying this conversation's getting boring, and they want you to step it up.
So this is what I found looking through the JFK files. I didn't find this on Twitter. But it basically is this guy from Eastern Europe somewhere, where it was a PDF of multiple letters that were retyped that he supposedly had written at different periods to different groups, whether it was the USSR, it was the United States, it was District Attorney in California, whatever. And so the first letter, he talks about supposedly this woman who was a girlfriend of a Russian consulate member who came to his hotel when he was in Bulgaria prior to JFK's assassination.
I was out walking
and
my dog,
he came
and
to
this
tell
lady stopped
him,
me.
of all people, like, why would she go to this guy? That someone named Lee Harvey Oswald was going to assassinate the president. And then he took it upon himself to go tell an American such and such that was there. Anyways, he went to the U.S. He was interviewed by the FBI, telling him about it. And then obviously the assassination came to fruition. About 10 years later, there's another